Is being single for a very long time a good thing or a bad thing or just a thing? Welcome, guys, to my show, Just Friends with Abdullah. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate the love and support. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get the show rolling. So, today's topic. As you guys know, I just try to think of topics and ideas that probably friends, people that, close friends, people that you guys have casual conversations with about life, society, interactions, relationships, things are brought up, right? And one of the things I feel like that are talked a lot about is being single for a certain period of time, or the status of being single. What's the outlook on it, right? What's the perspective on it? And for me, basically, I'm someone who's been single for quite some time, more than 4 years. I'm not gonna say how long, but more than 4 years for sure. I haven't been in a stable relationship, and I guess for some people, it's a perspective thing. Someone could tell you, "Oh, we've been single for such a long time. Why is that? What's the reason behind that?" And someone can be like, "Wow, okay, it's pretty interesting. Is there it's probably like you're focusing on yourself, you're developing yourself, so you get like different rationales and reasons and explanations from different people about why someone is single for a long time, why someone isn't. And is it a bad thing? And this is kind of the main topic of today. Is it a bad thing or is it just a thing? And I'll throw it to you guys. Again, this is a conversation I think would be cool to engage with someone, but I'm talking about alone here, and I feel like it's good to just get my thoughts out. I think the number one thing people tend to do with this kind of topic, or when this question is propped up, is they assume that there is something, that there is a reason, or there is some sort of rationale and explanation why someone single for a long time. And the simple truth is, sometimes there just isn't, right? I don't think it's really about if you've been alone or single for a long time, what you've been doing with your life when you haven't been single. What are the other type of fulfillments and you've achieved? You see, most people for some reason assume or associate happiness with being with a partner, or fulfillment with being with someone. And I'm on the camp that fulfillment can come in many different shapes and forms, and it doesn't have to be with somebody. I am pro dating, pro relationships, don't get me wrong. I think it's beautiful if you find a partner, if you find someone that you can spend your time with and share life with. And it's definitely, there's definitely a sweet side to it that not many people would understand unless they have been dating someone for such a long time. However, there's also the angle of, personally, I think it's that it's what you do with your time generally to find those, nuggets of fulfillment and happiness with yourself and what you want to do, and not necessarily being associated with whatever society or whatever people told you that this is the right way to do it or not. To me, there is no good or bad side here. There is no choosing what is right and what is wrong. It's all about what you do with your time, whether you are with somebody and whether you're not, and what is done with your time in order to fulfill your life in the way that you envisioned it to yourself. That's what it comes down to. So the choice of deciding to be with someone, or pursuing someone, or not pursuing someone, these are all just, to me, side factors. These are not ultimate factors. These are just things that are part of the equation and part of the story that you're writing for yourself in this life, and how you're supposed to be taking yourself forward in whatever adventure that you try to embark on. And that's the key theme here. It's never going to be about what is, dating or being with someone, all of that. It's about how you created this story and created this life for yourself, and what are the elements and what are the things that you chose to truly, kickstart your journey. Now, I can talk about some of the things that have been really good for me, and that's been a major plus, right? In terms of being single for such a long time. One of them is I truly know myself inside out. And what do I mean by that? That's so important. Like, I don't know how to explain how important this is, but it's very important. I really know what I like. I really know what I don't like. And I understand what would work for me. And I also understand what would not work for me. Now, obviously, you could say, well, it's also different when you're dating in a relationship because new things come up, and that's true. But at least I go with the mindset of exactly knowing what I really want and what I want to involve myself in. And I think that also helps in eliminating a lot of problems because you're aware of your triggers, you're aware of what works with you, you're aware you can communicate it better. You can tell the other person, these are the things that are workable with me, these are the things that are not workable with me. And with that, it makes it just such an easier transition whenever you're dating someone or even meeting, because you're also filtering it in a certain way. And you also develop a very strong emotional independence, right? Like you're very emotionally independent, and you're not swayed by situations and people. So, for example, you know how your emotions are about a certain situation. You're very disassociated from, I think, relying on others or your partner about feeling about something, because your emotions are intact. You understand how you move with certain topics or certain situations. So you're very independent emotionally, and that also is very helpful, because at least I think of it this way: as a man, you need to be a little bit more of a stabilizing force. You know, as we all know, women are more emotional than men. We are more logical. And I think if our emotions and our understanding of a situation is more stabilizing and is in check, it's going to help a relationship flourish way more than a typical over a typical like fight or the first sign of trouble. I would say one of the good things that can also be a bad thing of being single for a long time is the fact that you don't enter or leave relationships out of fear. This is a bit of a unique situation, because what tends to happen is, because you don't leave relationships out of fear, that could also mean that you get out or you leave at the first sign of trouble or drama or volatile emotions, whatever you want to label it as. That's dangerous, I think. And I'm not talking about my personal opinion. I'm talking about people who have been single for such a long time. What are the things that they could be struggling with when they want to date or start dating? This could be one of the things that they struggle with, because now they don't leave the relationship out of fear. It's possible that any negative triggers that they see can cause them to walk away or take a step back very quickly. Their tolerance is much lower. And also you might find people who they don't compromise, they're inflexible. And as we all probably know, relationships are about compromise. Compromise is from both sides for sure, but it is about compromise. And this is where I think it could be a bit of a dangerous situation for somebody who hasn't been in the game of relationships for such a long time. They're not willing to compromise. They don't understand that everybody is not going to be on that perfect page and synchronized with what you want exactly. And relationships or dating is actually work in progress. It is a project. It's not something that just right away works and clicks. It's something that you build and you build, but you build it to something great. You build it to something beautiful. But ultimately, it's still a project. It's something that you're working on. You could also fall into this trap where you feel that relationships become such a big decision if you've been single out for a long time, and it weighs heavy on you. And again, this is different from person to person. But if somebody hasn't been in a relationship or hasn't dated for such a long time, that decision can be intimidating and even overwhelming. You start making a big deal out of it. Where the other person who is in or out of relationships all the time might be like, it's just another relationship. It doesn't really impact them in that way. So things are a little bit different, right? For someone who has been single for such a long time and doesn't really look at things the same way as others. However, the main questions, and this is to all the people that, who are watching this and have been single for a long time, or even hesitant to date or be in a relationship, or enjoy entering those volatile seas and oceans of emotions with the potential partner or with the potential someone that you might want to be with or even date. The question that you always want to ask yourself: Are you not dating, or are you not seeking someone because you're comfortable and you don't want to, and you don't want to be entering those unstable, inconsistent, unpredictable situations? or you're trying to be you're trying to find peace, right? And as I was saying earlier, and coming from somebody who hasn't been with someone for a very long time as well, it's all about perspective. It's all about how you look at life. It's all about who you want to be with. It's all about working on a solution and finding a way. Things are always going to evolve, whether you're in the game or you're outside the game. And the reality is, I think it's not nice to just, enjoy life alone. It's a beautiful feeling when you find someone who is on your mindset, on the same wavelength. They think like you, they love you, they got your back, and you enjoy life and enjoy the best memories of life with them. That is, it's a very beautiful feeling, right? And even as someone who's been single for such a long time, I could still say that that sweet feeling is special, and you're not gonna find it anywhere. But the question that you always need to ask yourself is, what is the right choice for me? What am I also doing with my time when I'm not? And if you're somebody who is building yourself, when I say building yourself, working on your skills, working on your finances, working on who you are as a person, and then working on yourself to understand what are your triggers, so then you're filtering out the potential people that you want to be with, then that is also a good thing. That is also a good thing. But take everything step by step. That's always my advice to you. And again, there are no right or wrong questions here. It's really dependent on the person and your perspective and what is the right way to move forward when it comes to being with somebody and choosing them for yourself. Hell, if you feel that you should be single for longer, don't put yourself in that position. If you feel pressurized, don't. And again, I know this sounds cliche and you probably heard it from many people. A lot of these things happen naturally and they take time. You might even be from a culture that doesn't really embrace dating and it's all about getting married. So there's always that barrier, and nobody understands your circumstances except you. So you know that. So I think the question you need to ask yourself is not how long have I been single, it's why are you single? That's the way you need to frame it. And then I think when you look at it from that perspective, it's going to help you get a lot of answers and give you clarity with life. The game is the game. Women are not going to change for the most part. Men are not going to change as well for the most part. And you'll always be out there. So focus on what is more important for you, not for others. Focus on what works for you, not for others. This is something I'll always say all the time. You understand your world. You understand how you look at things more than any other person around you. And this is going to help you understand how you want to move forward with whatever you want to achieve in terms of being in a relationship or not being in a relationship, being single for such a long time, and continuing the path that you wanted to do. So again, just going back to how I feel about it, again, because I've been single for such a long time, I don't even have the right answer. I don't even know what to say, but it's just a very interesting conversation. I think it's something that always we think to ourselves, why am I not being able to date? Am I too tough to compromise? I mean, I will admit I do have high standards. That's just who I am, because I know what I like and I know what will work and I understand what is right for me. And that doesn't mean that my pool is shrunk or anything, but I think everything is about a conversation, getting to know the person and just being there for them. And from there on, you're going to be able to really flourish, really be with the partner that you want to be with. And you won't care if it took you 4 years, 10 years, 20 might be too much, but you know what I mean. As long as it takes for you, whatever it takes, until you achieve what you want to achieve and find the right person for yourself. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It's just a conversation. There's no absolutes. There's no right or wrong. It's just opinions. It's just perspective. And as I would say, don't forget to like, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the channel, and I'll catch you soon.